Caregivers Month, which recognizes the 53 million people who provide care to an elderly or disabled loved one. It's stressful and often isolating work, something author Debbie Weiss can relate to. For over 40 years, she cared for her father, then her son, and finally her husband. It's a story she shares in her new book, On Second Thought, Maybe I Can. Let's get Debbie in here, everybody. Give it up for Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Kelly.
Well, thank you for joining us. And I just have to say, you've been a caregiver your whole life, right?
My whole life, you said it, 40 years. I was thrust into caregiving when I was 17, when my father at 46 had a massive stroke, became permanently disabled. And soon afterwards, my parents divorced, and I became his primary caregiver for the next 30 years. And then when my oldest son was 2, he was diagnosed on the autistic spectrum and added anxiety and depression a little later on. And more recently, about 5 years ago, my husband became permanently disabled and unfortunately passed away on December 30th.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I've spent the majority of my life caring for others. And after many years, I was exhausted, angry, resentful, and bitter. And I hate to admit it, but I felt sorry for myself. And I then realized that I was feeling this way because I neglected myself for all those years. And
Absolutely.
that realization was a big game changer for me.
Yeah, so that change then created this book, right?
It has been a long journey over the last 10 years that actually led to the book, yes.
Absolutely. What do you hope people, when they read it, what do you hope they get out of it?
Oh, goodness. Well, I hope they learn what I eventually did, that prioritizing your own care is not selfish. It's a necessity. And when we do that, we actually show up as better caregivers and just better people for everyone else in our lives. You know, we don't really have to choose between ourselves and our loved ones. We all have the capacity to care for both.
Absolutely. I would say it's the oxygen mask mentality when you're on the airplane. You know, they always tell you, okay, put yours on first and then help, you know, your little ones. And that's hard to implement in life, especially if you've grown up with, you know, being told, like, have a servant's heart, always look out for others, and you always put yourself aside. It's kind of how I grew up as well. And so it's hard to change, to pivot that. Thank you so much, Debbie. I'm liking your post right now. And that's not all, ma'am. Our season-long partner, Pilot Pen, makers of Friction, the go-to erasable pen of the Kelly Clarkson Show, love your support for caregivers. So on your behalf, they're writing Family Caregivers Alliance a check for $1,000. For more than 40 years, this organization has provided services and support for caregivers like yourself. So thank you so much for putting them on everybody's radar to pay attention to. Thank you, Debbie. Before we go, I want to remind you to watch the 91st Christmas in Rockefeller Center tomorrow night at 8. I am hosting and will also be performing alongside a star-studded lineup. It airs on NBC and Peacock, so be sure to check it out. It's going to be incredible. Thanks to all our guests this hour, everybody. Mark Harmon, Kel Mitchell, Aaron, Zach, and Lanita, and Debbie, of course. Y'all have a great day, and if it's not, try and change it.